From start to finish, it took 3 minutes 42 seconds to find this shiny Fluttermane. It took 4 minutes and 30 seconds to find this shiny Great Tusk. And this is how you do it. Now, of course, you're not going to be able to find every shiny as quickly as I found these, as no matter how good the odds are, there will always be an element of RNG to screw you over. But using this method, you'll be able to find any shiny you want within 10 to 15 minutes of starting your hunt. On average, I'm finding 3 shinies every half hour in spawn dense areas. It is incredibly overpowered, and while it requires a little bit of planning and obtaining the necessary items, once you have the resources, it is incredibly easy to replicate. This method can also be applied to any Pokemon in the game, but we're going to focus on Paradox Pokemon in this video. The entire method revolves around picnics, and more specifically, making sandwiches while you're picnicking. There are tens of thousands of different variations of sandwiches you can make. However, the most optimal sandwiches to make for shiny hunting have been discovered. Here's everything you need to know, simplified into sections so you can easily understand everything I'm saying. What are sandwiches and their various ingredients? Sandwiches are an incredibly helpful way of controlling what type of Pokemon appear more commonly in the overworld, how fast eggs will hatch, increasing catch rates of specific Pokemon, and most importantly for the sake of this video, the frequency shiny Pokemon will appear of a specific type. These sandwiches' effects will last for half an hour, so take note of the time you make your sandwich to fully optimize your time with these effects. Each ingredient essentially corresponds to a different type having boosted effects in the overworld. For example, adding pickles to your sandwiches will make fighting type Pokemon more common. Paired with salty Herba Mystica, that will boost this effect to the highest possible level, which is level 3, as well as boosting the chances of shiny fighting types appearing dramatically as well, to the point that in spawn dense areas, I was able to find 3 shiny Zwelos in the space of 5 minutes using the optimal dark type Pokemon recipe. How do you obtain Herba Mystica and the rest of the ingredients? The most important ingredients for boosting your shiny rates are the various types of Herba Mystica. You are able to acquire these from 5-star raids. These are incredibly difficult to do by yourself, though it is possible, so try to get a group of friends together to take these on with super effective attacks together. That's the most optimal way of doing this, and feel free to use the comments of this video to put together a group of 4. The drop rates for these items from raids are quite rare, maybe every 3 or 4 raids, and you won't want to waste these items. And for example, if I don't find the shiny Paradox Pokemon I want within the half hour allotted time, I normally reset my game, so make sure to save before you make your sandwich. You won't be able to have these shiny powers running all of the time, but if you spend some time farming 5-star raids like I plan to do, you will have more than enough to focus on shiny hunting any and which Pokemon you want, whenever you want. The rest of the common/standard ingredients are able to be bought from the various shops littered all over the Paldea region. I simply stocked up on plenty of everything as I had a lot of Pokédollars left over from beating the main story. For example, I went on a big shopping spree in Medali. What are the most optimal sandwich recipes to shiny hunt each type? So, rather than a sandwich increasing the shiny odds for every single Pokemon, instead, the sandwiches you make will target a specific type. With the research of The Time Is Nigh and various other users on the GBA Temp forums, massive shout out goes out to them for discovering all of this. On screen now and also linked in the description are the most optimal recipes for each type. You will want to follow these recipes precisely so you get level 3 boosts for Sparkling Power, Title Power, and Encounter Power. Combining Sparkling Power with the Encounter Power for the same type is so incredibly overpowered. As you can see, using the fighting type recipe in the deepest area of Area 0, we only had Great Tusk spawning. We essentially brute forced the shiny appearing just due to the sheer amount of spawns. If you want to be truly optimal in regards to hunting for the Paradox Pokemon, you can use specific type recipes to double up and hunt for more than one Paradox Pokemon. For example, the fighting recipe will allow you to hunt for both Great Tusk and Slitherwing. The fairy recipe will allow you to hunt for both Fluttermane and Screaming Tail. The dark recipe will allow you to hunt for both Brute Bonnet and Roaring Moon, etc, etc. Within half an hour, it is entirely possible that you have caught 2 different shiny Paradox Pokemon if you're lucky with the spawns, as well as a plethora of other Pokemon that spawn on the map. For example, I got the shiny Meditite and shiny Zwelos as well. And additional tips and tricks, I highly recommend you spend some time farming 5-star raids to acquire as much Herba Mystica as possible. I find salty Herba Mystica is the most commonly used in all of these recipes, so I get most excited when I see that in my rewards for beating a 5-star raid. You are able to use any 2 Herba Mystica in the recipes, but it will change the type of Pokemon that is boosted with the encounter power, so keep that in mind if you are going to steer away from the optimal recipes within the graphic. As long as the initial common ingredient is what is described in the graphic, that will be what type is shiny boosted. But if a different type is encounter boosted, it can make encountering your target a lot harder. You will know you've made the correct sandwich, as these will be the effects for whatever desired type. As long as you don't waste any ingredients by accidentally dropping them, you'll be okay, and a sandwich will boost exactly what you expect. So in conclusion, I really hope I've simplified this rather complicated method of shiny hunting for you, and I hope you've enjoyed the video. A like would be amazing if you did. If you didn't, feel free to leave a dislike and tell me what I could have done differently for the future, and subscribe so you don't miss any more of my future Pokemon Scarlet and Violet videos. Really appreciate you watching. See you guys next time.